Hey folks, welcome. We're back. It's Beth on the left there, Dima Santina on the right.
Hi.
Dima, thank you for doing this. What fun.
Thank you for having me.
We have, a dozen photos. There's some cross stitch, there's some ribbon embroidery, some gold work, you name it in here. Going to be a good variety tonight to look at. Beautiful work all the way around. So thanks for joining us, and thank you, Dima, for doing this. Couple of announcements. The my Wednesday schedule is kind of in flux right now because I just heard from April at Gallery 76 in Sydney this morning that they're, if you haven't heard, they're in a hard lockdown. So she can't set up, they can't be open. She can't set up her exhibits. So she's going to get back to us in a week or so because there's two exhibits in July. And so we were going to work out how to do that, but she can't do anything now. So it'll be another 10 days before she knows just what she can and can't do. So we'll sort that out later in the month with her because we definitely want to see both tours if we can, both exhibits. So that we have that. Carrie Noss has been patient with us and flexible, as I said in the podcast today, with needle lace. So we'll get that worked in. And then I've also got, depending on when I get it recorded, Cindy Gershon, who is a judge and a needlework evaluator, like how much value is in it. She has volunteered to do a show and a Wednesday live show to talk about common errors people make, things that people tend to do well, things to watch out for when you're stitching, that kind of thing, as a judge and evaluator. So I got to work that in so we can do a Sunday show with her and then follow with a Wednesday show and demonstrate that. So all that is coming up. What order, I don't know. And then, of course, we have Kathy Ray on the third Wednesday of the month to do a thread talk. So we'll get it all sorted out. But right now it's kind of in flux, mainly because of the stupid virus. Somebody shoot it in the head. But yeah, April's just stuck. She can't do anything. So we have to kind of work around her schedule to make sure we don't miss out on what she has going. Then just remind you, wetalkfiber.com/Spring Hill will get you the Spring Hill kits if you still want to do that. Plenty of time to get in on that. Marion Lang, Lang Kit, wetalkfiber.com/Lang Kit will take you to Sassy Jack's to get that one. Beth's been working on that. If you follow her, it's really a beautiful one. Then we have the Mary Jane Fry, that's MJF 1861. The Botany Base Sampler is in play, and then Joanna Kabanoff's Take Wing Sampler is also in play. So all those things we're all working on. I am within a couple of days of actually being able to use a needle and thread in something. It's going to be very exciting. So all that. Then Sunday, Michelle May will be our guest. Her design business, the Raspberry Rabbits. I had a great conversation with her. Beth and I did. So Michelle will be our guest on Sunday. And watch this space for things as they develop. So we have Dima here for a second go round, and we really appreciate it, Dima. Thank you. And this is all stuff that she's worked on since she was last with us. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. My voice sounds so much better. Thanks, Mary. Yeah, I actually have a voice. Yes, it's kind of nice. It's going to be another week, I think, before I get back to what's normal. So Dima, you're doing all kinds of things. We're going to see some Japanese embroidery here. What level did you say you're on now with that?
Well, I completed my phase 4 recently, but I still have to complete my phase 2 and 3. Hyoji stitch is taking way longer than I expected. I need to fall back in love with it just to get it done. And right now I started another Japanese embroidery piece, not a phase piece, but that's going to be another distraction from what I should be doing.
Yeah.
But I'm
That
hoping
piece
to
is
take,
beautiful.
yeah, but I'm hoping to do phase 5 in the fall. We'll see if that happens or not.
Did you set some kind of a goal, like you wanted to have them all done within a couple of years, or are you just
No.
letting it go as it goes?
No, I'm letting it go as it goes. I didn't think I would do phase 4 until I finished Hyoji, but an opportunity came up, and gold work is easy for me. Let's just say that. So I figured I'll do it.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful stuff. Can't wait to talk about it.
Thank you.
So, all right. Well, we might as well just dive right in here,
Yeah.
um, and
I'm
get
gonna turn
going.
off my camera, just save
Okay.
some bandwidth. I don't know if I can do that actually.
Probably not.
I can't. No,
So
never mind.
that's all
Okay,
right. What is this here? I look pale
that's
and
better
Beth
now.
looks tanned. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Tan.
I've been
Beth's been
gardening.
Beth's been gardening and painting on the outside of the house. So, um,
Yeah.
I've been inside avoiding making vitamin D. That's how that's been going. So yes, Beth much healthier than I am.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so here we go. This is the first one. Dima's letter D. Several of these say French needle collaboration. What is that all about?
So the French Needle reached out to me right around when COVID, right before COVID, and asked if I wanted to work with them. So basically, what they do is they send me a piece. It's always usually a surprise because I tell them to just surprise me, and then I'll stitch it and I'll share pictures on Instagram. And it's just a way for me to, get. It's an opportunity for me to stitch new designers, and it's a way also for promoting these French designers that not a lot of people know about in North America. The French Needle has a really lovely selection of works from all over the Europe, and now they've also started importing things from Japan. So this one is by Bénédicte Ravaillac, I think, and there's a whole series of letters, and each one has a flower associated to it. The flowers are not the standard North American flowers you'd see with monograms because they're all in French, and they all have a little insect, like a little worm or a bee or something like that. And mine was I forgot what do you call these, but it's a little beetle.
And that's all done with goldwork materials.
I decided to do it with goldwork materials. The piece is supposed to be done flat. It's just cotton. But I decided to play with it. So I put in the goldwork beetle. I put in some more three-dimensional elements. The stamens are also goldwork. And the petals were stitched with an au ver à soie over dye.
Okay.
So do they it comes as like a kit with it printed on there, or do you have to transfer the design?
This particular collection, the design's already pre-printed on I think it's an Italian fabric, a Graziano. It's printed on Graziano linen. It's beautiful.
That's
I
nice
love that
linen.
linen. Yeah, it has a lovely weight to it when you're stitching on it, and it's so soft.
So I did a show with the lady at the French Needle. I don't remember her name. So
Lisa.
yeah, it sounds like she's really bringing in a lot more. Because yeah, you're right. We don't see much from France, and
She has a lot of French designers. She works a lot with Over because she does I don't know if you're familiar with the French Needle Tour. I went with them on their first tour in 2016 or 17. I don't remember which year. And she knew a lot of the merchants. She took us to the Sajou boutique. She knew the owner of the boutique. We met her in person. We went by Aubert à Soie. We met Hélène Lebert, who's a really known young French designer. She does a lot of cross stitch, but now she's been doing a lot of teaching of traditional surface embroidery in France. But it was amazing. It was an amazing experience, and that's how we met her.
yeah, I mean this is just really really unique. So this is all surface embroidery. The original is all surface embroidery. You added the extra gold
Yeah.
work things. Yeah.
Yeah, I added the extra gold work, some padding. I did my version of long and short because I'm not really great at long and short yet. This was my way of playing with it.
What is the?
About how many colors? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
About how many colors
The
were
original
used?
one, two. So I used the original greens. There's 3 greens. There's that bit of brown at the bottom, and the red is original. The rest is extra. There was a
Okay.
different purple for the flower, but I used an overdyed Overaswa from South Africa. I forget the name of the brand. Chameleon thread. That's what it's called. That's what I used. And for the goldwork materials is what I had left over from kits.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see that grandsons Cooper and Connor are watching. So hi, Cooper. Hi, Connor. Get that in. Yes. So I mean, this obviously is beautiful, but for someone who wanted to do this design, the basic design is really not that difficult then.
No, that's basic stitches. I guess I played around with it just to bring it a little higher, more of like an intermediate piece, I guess you
Mm-hmm.
could call it. I
Yeah.
don't remember. I think the leaves were done in chain stitch, and I just didn't like the look of them, so I changed them.
That's interesting. A chain stitch on a leaf. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to find. If anyone is interested in Bénédicte Réveillac, she has a book with all these monograms in them. It was printed by a French publisher a while back. I had a copy and then I sold it because I don't know why I sold it. I should have kept it.
And now you wish you hadn't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now I'm thinking, man, I should have kept that book.
Yep. Now the berries on this, those look padded to me.
Yeah, I think the red has 3 layers of padding, and I didn't pad the greens because I figured they'll go in the foreground.
Yeah.
In the background, sorry. Foreground is the front.
Right. And when you pad, are you just satin stitch underneath at an opposite angle, or did you put material in there?
Mary Corbett. If you've seen Mary Corbett's article on how to make a perfect round bubble with padding, that's how I did it. So basically, you split stitch, and there you split stitch the outside, right, on the line,
Mm-hmm.
and then I put in I think it was like 5 layers of padding going on top of each other until the final layer was perpendicular to the stem.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was at least 6 layers on there. Like
Wow.
at the end, you had 6 layers.
It's very effective.
Yeah, it's really nice and it's nice
Yeah.
to touch.
How do we get through life without Mary Corbett? You know?
Oh my God, I love doing research, and whenever I stumble on her articles, I always make note of them.
She's a good one. She's a good one.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So for people who, it's Benedict, Benedicte, and then the last
Yeah.
name is Reveilh.
EILHBAC, I think, Réveillac. There might be
Yeah.
2 L's somewhere in there. But if you
What?
go to the French Needles store and you look under embroidery designer, she's listed there.
Okay. Yeah.
So Mary wants to know, when are you going to start designing,
Me?
Dima?
Oh,
Yeah.
I used to try to do at least 1 original design a year. I kind of broke that cycle after COVID. So now what I try to do is I don't do a piece straight out exactly how it's done. I usually play with it, like I did with this one, for example. So that's baby steps, Mary. I'll get there eventually.
All right, let's go on to the next one here. Helen.
I mentioned Hélène Lebert earlier. This is one of her designs. It's called Kalinka. And I remember when they first approached me, this is the piece I wanted. I just loved the colors, so vibrant.
Looks like wool.
French European designers in general, they pick materials based on color and texture, right? So it is not Appleton wool. I'm pretty sure it's knitting wool or crochet or like wool that you can find in a craft store. And she picked them by color. Yeah. So if you wanted to know what brand these wools are, she doesn't know.
Oh, but that's a fabulous design.
isn't
And
it?
her colors are very bright and cheerful, but I could see just redoing it in even just like floss, some sort of floss colors too.
You'd still want a thicker thread because you won't get the same like this is a great crewel design. So if you wanted to do it
Okay.
with wool, it would look great. It's just I don't think you'll get the same effect with a regular stranded cotton. You don't get the same volume, which is what you want in this piece. You want volume.
Okay. Oh, I see now that you're going closer, Gary.
Here, let me just help you out a little bit, Beth.
Thanks.
And I love the mixture of like the white faded flowers with the bright pinks and the bright blue and the gold. That metal gold was amazing to stitch with.
Yeah, it's interesting. Those leaves half thread and half gold. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And
bright
again,
colors and it all works together. Very nice.
so those were the metallics. Do you think they were metallic yarns?
It felt like a Kreinik does this knitted metal threads like a ribbon almost. I don't know
Hmm.
if you've tried them. It's like a thicker. I'm sure you've come across them in canvas work. It's like a thicker ribbon, but it's like metallic. It's knitted. It's a little stretchy. It's like a slinky. Like if you pull on it, it goes back on itself.
Hmm.
Okay.
I think I still have some somewhere. But it's not a. It yes, it is a light wool. I just saw that question.
Okay. And what's the blue stitch on the bright blue?
It's a regular diagonal stitch. It just looks different because the thread is twisted. So if you do Japanese embroidery and you twist thread, that's what it looks like after it's been stitched. Has that like it looks like two threads or it looks like a different stitch, but it's just diagonal.
Hmm.
I- And did you use a hoop?
I stretched it on I guess you call it a slate frame. I have a French frame from Le Sage. That's what I stretched it on. I don't like hoops. They leave marks.
You do just about everything on a slate frame?
Pretty much. If it's small enough, I'll do it on a hoop, but the entire design has to fit in the hoop.
Oh, okay. That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I like it.
And someone asked, is it lace weight? The
Maybe the aqua blue green thread. That was a thinner one, but the rest of it was really like thick.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh, and
So
I think
this
I used beads in some of this too. I'm remembering now.
so this came as a kit then.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
this comes as a kit, and I believe it's on sale if anyone's interested.
There we go. Beautiful piece.
It is.
Lurex metallic.
Hélène, say that name. I say it American and that's really hacked.
Hélène Lebert.
There we go.
So
Yeah.
Helen Lebert is Leberre.
Okay. Yeah, I just say that American Helen when you come in with that cultured LN. Yeah.
I live in Quebec, so it's the French.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Yeah. But it's so much classier than just Helen. Yeah.
Right? It sounds better French.
It does. It does.
All right, now here's some. This is some ribbon embroidery.
So yes, so this is another Hélène Lebert piece, and there's a mixture of metallics, ribbon, some woolly thread that's more of a I don't remember what it's called, but I remember seeing in some cross stitch project there was a Mirabilia project of like a Santa or it was a Christmas thing, and it had this really fluffy thread, almost like cotton wad. That's what some of the butterflies are made from. It's really pretty. And I ended up finishing it into like a makeup roll. I'm practicing new ways of finishing my projects. So first time I ever used my sewing machine.
Oh, you don't just finish them and throw them in a drawer?
A lot of times, yes, but I'm trying to make an effort.
I thought that's what you're supposed to do.
Eh,
Well, that worked out really well because yeah, that makes a nice little.
I don't think I'll ever use it like that, but it's pretty for the picture.
Yeah.
My sister does all my pictures, like the final product. She's really great at setting up, doing a setup, like inspirations. I just give it to her, and she's like, she'll go with it and do a photo shoot.
Yeah. Looks
Oh,
very
that's
classy.
nice. Yes. But I love those butterflies. I love, so you're saying some of the threads were kind of like whisper, maybe?
Whisper thread, that's what it's called, whisper thread. So if you look at the peach on the wing, the I'm pretty sure the mustard as well, those are whisper. And then the rest are either
That,
ribbon, metallic ribbon, or just like a simple metallic thread.
They
I
really
remember
are
that blue is gorgeous.
so delicate, really beautiful.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed the technique of how to get the wings this delicate. It's a fly stitch. The key is to do them random to get that look.
Hmm.
oh, that is just beautiful.
This one comes in 2 colorways. I don't know if there's still kits available though.
I
Okay,
have a
this one
friend who loves
also at
butterflies.
the French needle then.
Also at the French needle.
This show not sponsored by the French needle, but
Not sponsored, but it just happened that I stitch a lot of pieces for them this year.
that worked out great. Yay.
Yeah.
All right, now this one I think may be my favorite. Maybe my favorite other than the gold work of the bunch. Jen Goodwin.
All right.
I really like her stuff.
Oh, I love this piece so much. I tried black work a few years ago on a cross stitch piece. I didn't really enjoy the experience, but I think it's just the geometry of it and changing colors and merging colors together that made the process more enjoyable.
Now, is that some kind of a gold metal that you use to ring each of the
It's
layers?
Yeah, it's pearl to
Okay.
outline. And
Yeah,
in
I
between
was
in
gonna say
between
that, Beth, but I knew I'd be wrong. I was gonna say that's pearl, but I thought no, then I'll sound like an idiot. But oh, I would have guessed right. So okay.
No, you would have gotten it right. Yeah. And the nice thing about this, well, the key is in between each pearl, you're couching down with the thread of that area. And in some areas where there's two colors touching, you're gonna have to mix them together in a way so that you have a nice merging, like a switch from one color to the next. And I
Okay.
like to do the traditional over and under that we have in Islamic geometry, so I made it harder for myself.
It's really
That
gorgeous.
is just so well done.
She's working on a new one.
She is.
She is. And this one has more straight edges than this is like a really curvy design. But right now she's trying to figure out how to transfer like a true Islamic geometry design on fabric, and it's pretty hard because you have to get those edges lined up correctly for everything to meet and be straight. So I can't wait to see how that's gonna come out.
Yeah, if people want to learn more about Jen, Beth and I talked to her a couple months ago, 3 months ago.
I think
Um,
so.
yeah, there's an interview with her, and at the time she just introduced a new book on black work, and it's an
Oh yeah, it's great.
excellent book. Yes.
I bought
Very
it. It's
nice.
my reference for black work. That's the one book I have on black work. It's hers.
And this show not
Okay.
sponsored by Jen Goodwin either.
Not sponsored.
But buy her book. It really is excellent. Yes.
Yeah. Mary wants to know how much of the Jen Goodwin were you making choices about? You know, what sections?
I didn't understand the question. Sorry, what was it?
So she asked how much of this piece, the color wheel, were you making choices? Did you change them from the original design, I guess?
I didn't change anything. I just use the overlap, the over under. In Islamic geometry, when you have lines that meet, they don't cross. They go over or under each other, right? So if you just follow one line, especially on the outer edge, you'll see that there's a pattern in how they meet. So see how it goes under and over, under and over. It's the only change I did from her design. Everything else is pretty much the same.
Okay.
And I think
All right.
I remember replicating the design with a compass on paper for the transfer. That I remember I did do. But it's the same design. I just played with the proportions to get it exactly the right ratio.
Gorgeous.
It's just fantastic. You can do that, Gary.
Yep. I'm on it right now.
It's fun.
Yeah. I'll be working that up tomorrow, Beth. No problem.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure, you know.
Okay. Now this thing is just absolutely adorable.
I love it. It's so
Oh,
cute. I haven't bought anything cross stitch in so long. But when I was traveling a lot for work in 2019, and I passed by Calgary on one of those trips, and I went to the traditional stitches, and I wanted to buy something, and I bought this, and it was worth it. It's so cute.
Yep. Now is that a bottle underneath? How does that? What's?
It's a porcelain doll that's been finished into just like a padded cylinder thing. It doesn't open up or anything like that. It's a pin cushion doll,
Okay.
technically. And the dress is the sampler portion of it, and then it has a little pocket for the scissors. There was like a little fob that you could buy as extra, but it was like $90 for a little true silver metallic accessory, and my ball is not that fancy, so it doesn't need it. A little too fancy for me. I like it the way it is.
Yeah, it really is beautiful. It worked up so well.
I love the thread.
so Carol wants to know what was the name of the frame you use and where can you get it?
Oh, my frame that I use for Kalinka, it's
Mm-hmm.
so I collect frames. I have an English frame from the RSN. It's a slate frame, and there's a different one that you use in France that instead of using webbing on the sides, you use ribbon. It's a slate frame. It's just the one used in the couture atelier in France. Because if you're using a dull fabric, you don't want to pull too much on it. So it's a slate frame. It has screws on the top and bottom that keeps the bars apart. But I can't show it. If you go on my Instagram, when I had Kalinka on the frame or Midnight Meander, I was using it. So you would probably have seen it in pictures.
Okay.
I can take a picture
Hopefully that's
later and share it with Gary, and he can post it if he wants.
Okay.
okay.
So now this one just a straight cross stitch cotton floss. Nothing.
It's I think it's silk dyed floss. I forget, thread gatherer's silk.
Okay.
It's so soft and pretty, and the colors are amazing.
Yeah, it worked out great. Wow.
Yeah. So did you finish this doll yourself or did you send her off?
No, I
You
finished it
finished.
myself a few weeks ago. There's nowhere to send it off to. I live in Quebec. We don't have finishers. I have to learn how to do that.
She's on her own. On her own.
Oh, yeah. Well, good
I think
job. Very well done.
thank you. I think the nearest finisher to me is in Gira's in Toronto, and they do needlepoint stitching. I don't think they would have been able to finish this.
Huh. Well, you nailed it. No question.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Now this next one.
This is Bramble and the Rose. I bought this kit in 2012. Started 2013. It was my travel piece. Like I took it to Korea, I took it to France, I took it to Turkey, I took it to everywhere I traveled since I started it, it went with me. And COVID really helped me finish it. Like I had just maybe not even half of it done before COVID, and after COVID it was all finished.
Okay, 1+ for COVID. All right, that's 1.
Yes, 1+ for COVID. My oldest whip.
It's really neat. Now
So what was the thread you used?
I used a Threadworks. I think it's eggplant, the color.
Okay.
and then tell me
And
how
I
do you
didn't want
do?
to frame it.
Yeah, the borders that you use, because that really sets it off. Is that what?
So
What is that?
it's
What is that?
a double p-hole stitch for the inner border and a single p-hole stitch for the outer border.
That just pulled thread, drawn thread.
This is drawn thread.
Yeah.
Drawn thread, you cut the threads out and you pull them out. Pulled work, you just separate the threads by using stitches. I think
Right.
that's what it is.
It's very effective. It makes a real nice frame for the piece.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my mom's idea. She's like, don't turn it, because I was gonna turn it into a cushion, and she's like, no, just turn it into a centerpiece. So I'm planning. I already bought the companion chart. It's gonna be my next long whip once I pick the colors.
Your next travel whip.
There's a piece that goes with it. It's a companion piece. It's with vines. I don't remember the name. I think
Yeah.
woodland vines, I think it's called. So once I pick the fabric and the colors, it will be my next travel piece for when COVID is over.
Here's hoping you don't have to travel much. I'm hoping for that too.
I want to travel.
Oh, I'm over it.
I was So before COVID happened, I was supposed to go to Japan.
Oh, well.
Plane ticket was bought, hotels was reserved, everything. And then I had to cancel a month before.
Oh.
So I want to travel.
Okay. I'm pulling for more virtual conferences and trade shows. Just stay
Oh,
home.
that yes, but I still want to travel. How are you
Oh.
gonna discover new things? I'm gonna
Well,
go to
that's true. Yeah.
museums,
Yeah. I'm
shopping.
talking about work travel. I don't want to travel for work
No,
anymore.
no work travel.
Yeah.
All right. So Sandy wants to know who designed and made this kit. This
This
one.
design is by Circles. They do not do kits. You can buy the design on their website or through your local shop. Like any cross stitch shop will have ink circles. I don't know if they still have this one in stock because it's a pretty old design. I mean, I bought it in 2012, but they still sell it online. And the fabric is Legacy. No, it's not Legacy linen. Lakeside linen is the fabric.
Worked out
All
great.
right. And
Go ahead.
Mary wanted to know how many pieces do you usually have framed up that you rotate through?
I have, based on technique, I'll only have one goldwork piece, one cross stitch piece. I try to only have one Japanese piece, but I have two right now plus one beadwork piece. So right now I have I have like 4 right now on frames. I'll probably have another one soon.
Okay, now
That's not too many.
you work, sleep, and stitch all in one room. So I'm thinking things are a little snug. Yeah.
Which is why it's limited to 4.
Oh, okay.
Because I have, how many frames do I have? I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I think I have 8 frames, like slate, French, Japanese frames. I have about 8 total, but they're not all set up.
It's like a factory.
You have to buy them now. My woodworker is gonna retire soon, so I had to buy extra.
Oh,
That's a great excuse. Great excuse.
Yeah, I recently got a 39-inch Japanese frame.
39-inch. Holy smokes.
The standard is
Wow.
29, so I had to get me at least one because for the later phases, phase 10 is on a 39-inch frame, so I figured do it now before it's too late.
Yeah. Oh. All right, next one. Wow.
Cynthia Jackson.
Yep.
This was a class I took with her in February. And the arrow does move, it rotates. I just love the concept of like the 3D gold work.
This the silver material, I forget what it's called. It makes up the arrow. This is the first time that I've seen that used that I didn't think it looked kind of just tacky. I mean, this really works. I've never been a fan of
Like
that
it's
material.
kid leather.
Yeah. Okay.
Kid leather. It comes in different colors. So you have kid leather that's really shiny. I don't like the shiny tacky part, but I've seen some that are like distressed almost. It's like a mixture of the leather, the soft suede, and some metallic on it. That's really pretty if you use it a certain way. But yeah, I'm like you. I never liked the tacky, shiny. I never liked it.
Yeah, this works.
Yeah, but this works. You need it because the arrow.
What is the diameter roughly of this thing?
I need to get a 6-inch frame for it, so I would say about maybe max 4.5
Okay.
inch. It's really small.
Yeah.
I'm actually starting the armillary, which is the second piece in the trio. I'm supposed to get the kit this week for the next class, so I'm looking forward to that.
And so you're going to start that one too?
Yeah, the end goal is to do the Astrolab. I'm really hoping she offers that as a class. The Astrolab has moving parts.
Mary, hook up with Dima.
That's right.
Mary Dorter doing it right along with you here. So
Is Mary is she in the armillary class too? Because I think we had like 45 people taking that class.
she just finished the compass too. I'll show hers next
Right.
week. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So yes, and so she yes, and she's taking the armillary too. So
I'll see her. We're not. She's changing the format of the class. I'll see her twice.
Okay. This thing doesn't. It really looks impressive, but I'm gonna suggest maybe it wasn't all that difficult, or
No.
was it?
I mean, the difficulty is getting that circle consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So your initial like your homework basically the outline that you put in that first homework is crucial. If you don't do it, if you don't take your time, you don't set it in exactly right, your circle's not gonna come out good once you start putting in the couching.
Okay.
And then it's just being consistent. I mean, there is some challenge to this. It's getting that circle just so perfect, and I like doing that.
Always the prep work.
Yes, prep work is very important. I mean, the outline stitch is your friend, and I'm learning that even more in Japanese embroidery. Your guidelines will save everything if you do it right.
Well, you nailed this one. It's beautiful.
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Well done.
Yep.
See,
this
it's
one.
I don't know if you noticed.
What? Go ahead.
It's in a hoop.
Oh,
I
didn't
don't know
notice
if you
that. Oh,
noticed it's in
oh,
the
there
middle.
it is. Yep. Yep.
That's that's a 6-inch hoop, I think. So it must be smaller than that.
Okay. Wow. Small, tight spaces. Yeah.
Yep.
Now this next one, when you put this up on Instagram, I just about fell out of my chair. This Karahanna.
Yes. I
Oh, that
think
is just so gorgeous.
hana means flower in Japanese, and I want to say kara means gold, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's called Karahanna. It's phase 4 of the curriculum. It's your goldwork technical piece. I mean, there's goldwork in a lot of the other designs, but this is the one that's purely goldwork, and it shows you all the different techniques that are used in Japanese embroidery. It's heavily couched, so you have to love couching.
Oh,
The depth and dimension in those petals, I can't take
So
my
yeah,
eyes off of them. It's
the the trick for that is the when you go round and round, when you reach those corners, there's like 3 stitches in each corner. There's 3 stitches because it holds it tight and you make those sharp turns, but at the same time, at the end of it, you get sort of like the veins of the petal that you start seeing.
mm-hmm.
And that's what gives it like a dimension.
Because that's all the same gold thread. There's no, it's all just the way it's shaped and reflects, right?
Yeah, pretty much. All the petals are stitched with number 4 thickness. Um, the center is stitched with a number 1 gold. So it's a thinner thread. That one you can stitch with. It's not couched. And then the turnovers of the petals, those are stitched with a number 3, so it's a thinner thread. But it's all I think there's like I don't remember how many techniques there was. There's the couching, there's the to and fro, what we call you're going back and forth all over the piece. There's the couching of the stem. Um, there's the novel effect for the petals. The trefoils and the center are padded. I really enjoyed it. It's fun.
It's absolutely beautiful.
it is. Okay, and so what did you use? Did you use the same color to couch it then? Is it just like a red?
So in Japanese embroidery, they don't couch because we couch with gold thread, right? It's like that yellow thread in English goldwork, but in Japanese embroidery, you use the like an orange. I had like a dark orange in my stash that I was able to get a hold of, but usually it's like a bright orange. And the reason for that is because otherwise you won't enjoy the 3-dimensional element that you can get with the orange. Because if it was regular like yellow, you wouldn't see the veins in the petals at all.
Mm.
All right. I was curious about that because I was like, okay, so what color did she use to
Yeah, it's an
do the
orange.
couching? Yeah,
It's kind of weird.
yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird when you're using it because we're not used to using an orange thread for the couching, but it does a pretty good effect in the end.
Yes, it does.
It's very striking.
Yes, it
I have a
is.
friend who's doing it in silver.
Oh,
Yes, that's so pretty.
oh, I bet that's amazing.
Yeah, if I'm inclined to, would like to do it in silver one day.
Oh, I can just imagine what that looks like. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's silver on I don't remember if it was a navy or like a rich royal blue. It's a really pretty color.
Mm.
And Natalie's done hers on black, but with purple silk instead of the orange. I don't know if you've seen
Mm.
it. It's really pretty too.
Well, I'll have to go look for that.
Yes.
She did
Okay.
it thinking 2007, I think she did hers. So you'll have to look back quite a while.
Okay. Well, I
Is it
think I
2000? No,
will.
wait, not. It can't be 2007. When did we start? She did her phase 4 when I was doing phase 1.
Hmm.
I'll have to remember. Oh, 2017. Sorry, 2017.
Okay.
Years off.
That's Natalie Dupuis, for those who are wondering. Natalie
Yes.
Dupuis. Yes. Yes. Follow her on Instagram. You won't regret it.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Mm.
Yep. Okay. Some ribbon embroidery.
Yes, this is the last piece I got from the French needle. No, that's not the last piece. There was another one, but it was really small. This is I think it's a collab between Auvert à Soie and this French designer who calls herself La Batista. No, what? La Bastida. La Bastida. It's a very French name.
Yeah.
And there's a few pieces for the seasons. This is autumn, and I'm really happy I got autumn because they have spring, and the colors in autumn are nice, much nicer.
Now, what
Very,
challenges
very
what challenges do you encounter when you're doing ribbon embroidery? Is it pretty straightforward?
tension is very important. Um, you want those little loops at the end, and so if you pull too hard, you'll lose that, and you'll have to start all over again, and your ribbon will fray as you're stitching. So you have to be very careful of how long the strand is when you're stitching. I did one ribbon embroidery class in like a long time ago. I didn't enjoy how finicky it was, and I was a beginner back then. I only did cross stitch when I tried it, but I found that I enjoyed it way more this time around. Keep your strands short. Um, use an awl for the little turns, and keep the awl in until you start the next stitch. So then, by doing that, you're locking the first one when you pull out the second stitch.
Okay.
And then you take out the awl and then use it again for the new one for the little turn. And you don't want to pull that ribbon too tight because you want it to be a little loose to give it that volume.
Yeah, that seems to me, when you talk about tension, to me that was what I see in this ribbon embroidery is not tension. It's just making sure it doesn't get too tight. Keep that
Yeah.
flow of the fabric.
Yeah, see on the orange flower, there's a little looseness towards the center. It's almost like it's risen a little in the
Yes.
center. So that's why you wanted something like that. And then for the green leaves, it's sort of like that play of shadow gives it a little bit more volume as well.
Mm-hmm.
The ribbons were really nice to work with.
Stitching on a fairly low thread count, looks like.
That was hard. That was the only complaint I had. Every time I get a kit from French Needle, I always forget to back it, even though I regret it later. This is a Graziano linen as well. It's great for counted work. You can do it for surface embroidery, but I prefer backing the fabric if I'm doing something like this. Because the ribbons are heavy, and they need some padding in the back to like close back the hole that you create when you pull the thread out.
Uh-huh. So you're just backing it with like a gingham or something, just a simple cloth?
You can do that. I have a cotton interfacing that I like to use. It's an iron-on.
Oh, okay.
Super
Really?
easy.
So
Just slap that thing on.
you don't have problems with glue on your needle from the interfacing?
I never did. I don't know. I've used it. I used it on the letter D, and I've used it on a few other pieces. Never had an issue. I don't use it for everything. I don't use it for gold work, for example. And I've only ever used it for like smaller pieces, like surface embroidery. No gold work, no beadwork. Because the gold work, you need something even thicker than that. You need the muslin. And I definitely don't use it with my silk.
Oh. Now, the outline, the heart outline, is that something that will just go away, or are you still going to do something with that?
So I bought rickrack. The plan, I saw Mary's question. The plan is I want to finish it into some sort of either an ornament with a rickrack to kind of hide the outline, because that does not go away. I forgot that I was working with permanent marker when I put
Oops.
the outline in. Yeah. It's because if I had remembered, I wouldn't have done the outer heart. I would have just done the inner design. So I bought rickrack from a French a Canadian dyer, and I might finish it either into like a, like those needle pockets, like a needle book, heart-shaped needle book, or an ornament, one or the other. It's waiting in the drawer somewhere.
It's a beautiful piece. It really is.
Very nice.
I enjoyed stitching it. It was fun.
Also at the French needle.
Yes, also the French needle.
Now the last ones are pieces that are in progress.
Yes.
This fan is, wow.
Yeah, that's my phase 2 still. I think the last time I showed it to you, I had maybe some of the cords, but I didn't have the handle, and I didn't have the blossoms at the center either. Actually, even this picture is outdated. I just noticed I did clean up all that. I sent you an old picture.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, I'm looking so if you look at it, see all those ends on the fan handle? Those are all plunged to the back.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. My bad. I thought I sent you an
This is a
updated one. I'll
beautiful
have to
piece.
pull it out someday.
Now, what is your
I really like the colors.
yeah? What is your design transfer technique here? Just tracing with a
Oh,
pencil?
the fabric is purchased like that.
Oh,
When you buy the kit, you select the fabric that you want it on, and they print the design. They have a printer at the school. There are because this specific design is available on like a green, like a mint light green fabric. I
oh,
went with the white because if you really want to be fancy, you could say do it on like a metallic, like really fancy fabric. They have metallic kimono and really expensive $12 an inch fabric and stuff like that. So
Wow.
I'm going with the basics for a lot of my face pieces because these are studies. So there are guidelines, like you see on the cords, there's like a stitched outline.
yeah.
Those are put in so that it's for your cords. And there's like a guideline on like the straight edge of the fan. That's because when you stretch, your design gets distorted slightly depending on your stretching. So you put that in so that your line is straight when you do the finish.
Oh, okay.
I really should finish this soon before I do phase 5. I really should finish it.
Oh, let's not get carried away now. Calm down. Let's go
Well,
our next.
Oh.
because I've seen people finish this in no time. It's insane.
So what do you think is holding you back from finishing it?
I fell out of love with it. I really liked it at the beginning, but I had a hard time with the cherry blossoms on the superimposed. I got them now, but at the time it was so frustrating. It took a while. It's really hard to work on superimposed because every time you think you got the needle exactly where it should be, you put in that stitch and you realize the foundation shifted your stitch.
Oh,
And cherry blossoms, you're always trying to get that symmetrical petal. You're looking at it really close up. Your nose is almost to the fabric when you're stitching. What we forget is that once you step back, what you see is that unsymmetrical shape is actually not bad. So we forget to get out of your chair and look at it from afar, and it's fine.
yeah, that problem.
Yes.
So if something bothers you, my biggest advice, if something bothers you and you don't like it, just step away from it. Wait. Sometimes I'll even wait till next day before I unstitch something. Because It might bother me then and there, and after that I'd be like, you know what, it's not so bad.
Well, even partly done, it's beautiful.
Yes.
I really like the colors. I have to get back to it.
It's interesting how something like that will turn you off on a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of sucks the fun out of it, and then it just gets set aside. Yeah.
Especially, you know what it really is? I watched a few stitchers start their phase two. They're doing like a piece that's just phase two basically. And she finished hers in nothing. And I'm still working on mine. It's been more than a year. I think it's been 2 years now since I started this one. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, me and my other friend in the same group were like, we should have picked the phase two piece, not a combined piece. We would have been done by now. But this one is more challenging.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes, I wonder if you just took small bites of it too. We've
Yeah.
been discussing that amongst stitchers. There's pieces where we just we don't want to work on it. There's another shiny object, but if you just like one thread full, one little section,
Yeah.
I will cheer you on, Dima. You start posting it on Instagram. We'll cheer you on.
Yes.
I have to finish. I don't know if it's the next piece. I have to finish the next piece first. Yeah, the next one. Because that one's almost done, and then this is gonna go back. I'll have to alternate between this one and the new one, but I want to finish this before I start phase 5 for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. So Mary asked, did the laid gold start on the outside or the center?
You always start from the outside in Japanese gold work. So I think you see where that dangly clip is? If you follow that thread, that's where I started. Right on the inside, near that red flower. That's where I started my thread. And then it goes around there's no plunging, except when you get towards you know how in English goldwork sometimes you'll plunge when you find that the area is awkward and you want a sharp turn. There's no plunging in this until you get to the very center and it gets too thin.
Hmm.
Oh. So like the other piece that starts with a K that I'm not going to try to pronounce, you did not plunge at the
And
points of the leaves.
nope, not until I got the very center.
Oh my. Okay.
So
All right.
this one,
Okay, so look at the tips of where it gets to be a little triangle.
I used the dangly bit Mary to keep it out of the way because it got annoying. And this way it has weight, so it stays where I put it.
Okay.
So
So
if you look at Karahanna, I started at, I don't know, because on my screen where we're at, I started near the center on one of the ends, and I went down all the way down, and I turned at the tip, and I went back up, did the curves on the inside, and then went down, back, and went back up, and it went round and round. When I said I was going round and round and round, I wasn't kidding.
wow. Because that's hard to get that point,
Yeah.
I think. But then I don't do very much gold work. I mean,
Tweezers.
but I had trouble with that.
Yeah, tweezers. I use my tickleberry to sort of like bend the thread and get it loose. And then you have like 3 stitches in there at the point. One, you start with 1 stitch near the end, then you bend your thread. That's how I did it. You bend the thread, loosen it a bit, and then you put a stitch at the point. And then once you get the corner that you want, you put another one in to set it in. And I use little tacking stitches in between so that when I'm pulling on my goldwork thread, it doesn't pull out the stitch.
Oh, you don't see me. I'm nodding my head. Yeah, okay. That's making
Yeah,
sense.
you have to try it. I have to
No.
do when okay, next time I do a corner, if I have to do another piece and it has a sharp corner, I'll do a video. I'll show you
Okay.
my
Okay.
method.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Going back now, the next this one here. What is this called?
This is Calm Flow. It's the phase 2 Japanese bead embroidery.
Bead embroidery.
Yes.
There you go, Mary.
Hmm.
So there are 5 phases total that are taught at the JC. They're not really officially, they have teachers that teach this technique. My teacher is Cecilia Rogers from Switzerland. She teaches on Zoom. Uh, um, it's like a side thing that they do. It's not something that they really, do full time. They'll hold classes maybe once a year. This one I call like it uses all gold work techniques. It's a lot of couching, a lot of seed beating, like chipping. Super fun to do, but it gets tedious after a while because it's a lot of couching and a lot of seed. Like the only thing I have left now is to put in the individual beads, just seed beating.
So those blank spots will have just
Yeah,
like a seed stitch, but with beads.
yeah, yeah. Individual beads stitched. Yeah, that's why it's sitting
Okay.
in its case right now, waiting for me to pull it out. I might do it this. I might work on it this week. I'm off, so I might work on it.
The ground cloth that looks like a hard surface. Is that what are we?
It's they say it's silk, but it feels more like a sateen
Hmm.
fabric. It's really shiny. It's not hard. It has like a heavier weight silk. And it's super shiny and soft, but it's because it's a lot of beads. Need a thicker fabric to hold the weight of them, and that's why we use fabric like that.
Because it almost
And
looks like a
did you,
stiff leatherette.
Yeah, it's not leather. It looks like leather, doesn't it? Looking at
Yeah.
it, how shiny, how the light reflects off it. I think I took this picture in the evening. Maybe that's why the light is bouncing off from my lamp light.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
so
But once,
uh, are the
go ahead.
colors chosen for you? I'm sorry, are the colors chosen for?
Uh, this piece is in black. It's in gunmetal, black, and silver. But I have seen someone do it in blues and silver.
Okay.
She posted 1 or 2 pictures on Instagram a while back, and I never saw it finished. And I wish I've been asking her to post a picture because I want to see it. It's really pretty in other colors. You can pick any color. Just pick 2 colors that go well together. Margaret Lee has a beautiful purple iris beaded bag that uses this technique, and it's done all in purple with different bead sizes. So there's like
Oh,
bugles, there's like number 15 beads, there's like 3-cut beads. I have the kit somewhere, and I'm planning on stitching it one day, but it's the same technique as this.
all right. That would be beautiful.
Mm.
Isn't it her book then? Her Margaret Lee's beading book? Doesn't she have a book?
Yes, so the purple iris purse is in the book. You need the book to be
Oh,
able to I bought the kit from Inspirations, but the instructions are in the book.
okay. And Deb wants to
Definitely
know,
check
is it
it out.
stretched on a Japanese,
Yes,
Deb wants to know, is it stretched on a Japanese frame
it is.
also?
I like my Japanese frames for this. You could I don't know if it's exactly allowed, but some stitchers did it on like a slate frame. Cecilia does French bead embroidery, and I mean she's done this technique on a regular frame. You just need to have it stretched properly, and it should be okay. I've done bead embroidery pieces on stretcher bars before because they're small enough to do it.
Gorgeous. Love the lines. Okay,
Yeah.
last one.
This one's a little different, right?
Yes.
This is traditional Korean embroidery. It's traditional silk Korean embroidery. So the fabric is a hanbok silk. Hanbok is like the Japanese kimono. It's their traditional clothes, and the techniques are not they're not that different. It's just that the threads are little. They're not the flat silk that I'm used to for Japanese embroidery. It's a twisted silk. Been trying to find something similar to it. The closest I've been able to find is a Overaswa pearl silk. But the techniques are really nice. I really wanted to learn the different stitches. I have tons of books on it. Tons. I have maybe 4 or 5 books on the techniques at home, so I really wanted to try my hand at it. They do a mixture of French embroidery, which is surface embroidery for us, and Chinese and Japanese embroidery. So the 3 countries share a lot of similar techniques if you look at the stitches. So here it's a circle of flowers, and each flower has a symbol. Some of them is for happiness, some of them are for luck, some of them are for prosperity, and I think one of them is for it was like a dignity, is lotus. So I thought it was very interesting to study not just the technique but the meaning behind each one. Class is only in Korean, by the way, not available in English.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing I enjoyed about Margaret Lee's thing, is all the symbolism that was in so many of the pieces that she showed.
That was an amazing tour. That was awesome to see.
Yeah,
And I mean, there's not enough materials on these things. There's not enough books that explain the symbolism behind all the different elements that they use.
yeah. It's just, you look at a piece like this, a beautiful, delicate piece like this, and then there's that whole other level of meaning behind all of it, and it really adds to it.
Yeah. But the girl teaching this class did a really good job, and I mean the class is made in Korean for Korean stitchers, not meant for foreigners at all. But I enjoyed the fact that she actually explained the meaning behind the elements, even though like technically in Korea you should know these things. I mean, if you were raised in the culture, you would know them. But I liked it because I got to learn about it.
Yeah, adds so much.
Yeah, it
Adds
adds
so
more
much.
to the learning. I need to finish it. It's sitting on a frame. I should finish it.
Yes, you should.
Yes, and post it
We're agreeing. Yes.
so
Yeah.
we can enjoy it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I have this one, and I'm learning pojaji, which is the patchwork, Korean patchwork, and there's another technique I took over the weekend called saksul nubi, which is a different. It's like a sewing stitch. It's really cool though. I'm enjoying the different techniques. I have a really good teacher out in the U.S. If you're interested in learning any of this stuff, Youngmin Lee on Instagram. She teaches out of California,
What's the name again?
and she'll do Youngmin. It's Young Min Min Lee Lee. She's a pojaji teacher. She also dyes her own fabric and creates her own designs.
I
Every
I
time.
went
didn't
and
include.
followed her. I went and followed her this afternoon. I saw you, and I was like, oh, look, she's playing with natural dyes. Somebody
Yeah, it's very cool.
somebody I have to follow.
She does this. I only discovered her after COVID. She does a Korean textile tour. So when COVID is over, she has a waiting list of people to go for the next tour, and she takes them around Seoul, I guess, and they go to the different museums and they go to the different studios to try out different techniques and learn about the culture and the textile industry there. I'm
Give me
hoping
her.
maybe
Give me
the
her
next
name
one.
again, will you, Dima?
Youngmin, Youngmin Lee.
Okay. See if I can get her. That sounds like it'd be a good conversation.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
yes, she's fluent in English and in Korean, so she'd be happy to give you guys just like a talk on Korean textiles.
Yeah. Have to hunt her down. I think
Oh,
so. I think
Yeah,
so.
yes.
I'll
Yes.
I'll let her know that you're gonna reach out to her because I've seen some of her podcasts. It's very nice.
Okay. Appreciate that. Yep. All right. I'm going to put us all back on screen here.
Yeah.
Oops. Wrong mouse. There we go. Well, Dima, wow. So much fun. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for a repeat now. So we'll wait 6 or 8 months. You'll have another dozen things done, and then we can do another round. That'll be great.
We'll see.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. All right. I think we're going to call it right there. Thank you, folks, for joining us. Thank you, Dima, so much for sharing all of this. Really learned a lot. Michelle May on Sunday, and we'll be back next Wednesday with something. I don't know. Something. We'll get it worked out.
We'll be here.
That's right. All right. Thanks to everybody for joining us.
Bye.